Welcome to Sharing the Middle, where recovering perfectionists, overachievers, and anyone in the middle of a struggle come together to learn to embrace the messy middles of life. I'm Lacey, your friend in the middle and guide, whose claim to fame this week is just not having a paralysis episode this morning and helping your kids and her husband get out of the house. It may not sound like a lot to you, but it's a big deal to me. Today is a mini episode, which means that we are going to have a reading from the middle. It's my birthday, so today's reading from the middle is about me and my birthday, called Solidly Mid-30s Now. Then our advice from the middle is no surprise here about approaching mid-30s and feeling stuck in a rut. I didn't write this. No, okay, so. And then we're going to end up with some Lacey loves, so let's jump right in. Our reading from the middle, solidly mid-30s now. I turned 34 this week. After consulting Google, I can confirm that I am not middle-aged yet. Apparently that starts around 40. Generally. It seems fitting to reflect on aging in the middle. Maybe I have some more wisdom now that I am firmly in my mid-30s. As usual, I have some thoughts. We can see whether or not they're wise. Aging doesn't bother me. I always remember wanting to be older. This isn't anything new or unique to me, but at some point my desire to be older lessened, but it never seemed to get replaced with a fear or dislike of aging. My working theory, I'm the youngest of 5 kids. I have always been the baby. Yes, in age, but I've also done most things years after my siblings. My niece, that's the closest in age to my kids, is a solid 7 years older. So if you're always the youngest, you never really feel like you age. Now, there are some things and some ways that I love how I am aging. I've started getting gray hairs around my face, and I love them. They're like little glitter pieces that make me smile when I see them. The idea of going gracefully gray and not dyeing my hair really appeals to me, but we'll see if that's the case as I continue to age. This may seem to be a bit of a departure from my normal relationship with the future. I am a very future-oriented person, so you'd think I'd want to control my aging. Ultimately, though, I think my future orientation helps me be excited for whatever may come. That any challenge that comes with aging, I will be able to embrace and tackle. Passage of time. Now, just because I don't mind aging doesn't mean that the passage of time doesn't get to me. As the good millennial that I am a fool for nostalgia. Seeing how the early 2000 trends are coming back is mind-bending. I saw a video about how the front bump is making a resurgence, and I just giggled. I do have a firm stance against low-waisted jeans, and I'm glad that this time around I have the confidence and wisdom to say no to them. Of course, looking at my children is a massive marker of time, but the biggest place that I feel it is when I'm actually looking at my nieces and nephews. Because I don't see them every day, it can still blow my mind that they're all so old now. My brain still just perpetually sees some of them as like 8 or 9 when most of them are like full-blown teenagers. Thank you, 33. I learned so many lessons in my 33rd year. It has been a difficult one, but it has been one of growth, and it's also a time that I know I will look back on with some fondness. My children are pure magic presently. I was crying when I wrote this, and a little aside to you, listener, I'm going to try not to cry while I read this. The amount of wonder and joy that they currently bring into the world is beyond my imagination. Most nights at dinner, I look at my husband because something one of them did or said and think, this is a moment I want to hold on to and why I wanted children. At 33, the highs are highs and the lows are low. And I am just wise enough to appreciate both. Looking forward to this year. To be transparent, the year is not what I imagined it'd be. I was supposed to start off the year with my European vacation with my husband and finally meet a lifetime goal of going to France. My husband and I were possibly even looking to grow our family again. Because of my illness, neither are possible for the foreseeable future. I am trying to not let that skew my view of my 34th year. There is so much potential for it. I truly believe that 34 is the year that I settle into the person I was always meant to be. The more that I work on the middle to build this brand and space, the more I feel at home with myself. For so long, I pushed down the side of me that was creative and more emotional. I truly confined myself to a box that I didn't realize. I don't feel a need for a big life, but I'm not going to actively work against it like I was before. My earning potential, success, and ability to love are uncapped, and I am just now realizing it. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of my journey and realization. Every word you read, episode you listen to, interaction on social media has helped me get to this place, and I will be forever grateful for it. Today's episode of Sharing the Middle is brought to you by me, Lacey, the author of Support from the Middle. Support from the Middle is my newly released workbook that walks you through some self-reflection and self-care exercises with additional resources for recovering perfectionists, overachievers, and those in the middle of a struggle. You'll hear directly from me, like you do on this podcast, throughout the workbook to hopefully give you some extra boosts along your own self-helpy journey. Get Support from the Middle on Amazon today in either ebook or paperback, with the audiobook coming later this year. Thanks for supporting the middle. Our advice from the middle is also on theme today, and it goes as I approach my mid-30s, I feel like I'm stuck in a rut and unsure of how to move forward. I've achieved some of the goals I set out for in my 20s, but now I'm not sure what comes next. I'm hoping you might have some advice on how to find direction and purpose in this stage of my life. How do you know when it's time to change course or set new goals? And how do you deal with the fear and uncertainty that comes with taking risks? All right, so I'm going to be real transparent that I have stopped and started and recorded and deleted what my advice would be for this several times. One, because I'm not totally sure I'm the right person to give you this advice. I'm going to be totally honest. I think what it comes down to is it seems to me that you have associated time with your goals in a way that I don't necessarily know if you need. Just because you're approaching your mid-30s and you achieve some goals from your 20s doesn't mean a whole lot, frankly, unless you assign the meaning to it. So I would say knowing when it's time to change course or set new goals is really peeling away a lot of that stuff. Why do you associate those beliefs with 30s and 20s? Why do you want to change course? Why do you want to set goals? And that's an answer that I can't give you. I'm going to say that's the answer to that. And then how do you deal with the uncertainty that comes with taking risks? I mean, I could give you a really easy answer of like fear. You know, it's okay to feel fear. It's what you do with fear to overcome it. And really it comes down to a cost-benefit analysis and you doing everything that you can to make that risk feel less risky. There will always be some sense of risk, but by assessing and eliminating some of those different risk feelings, you can potentially overcome that. But sometimes it is a bit of a leap of faith, and I totally get that. And when that, so when you eliminate all those elements as far as like things that you can mitigate, it comes down to you. Are you ready and comfortable in making that risk? And if you look inward and you think, I'm happy enough now, that's just fine. But if you look inward and think, I'm not happy enough now, I'm just not taking action because I'm afraid, then I think that's also an answer. I know I say this all the time, but you have a lot of the answers within you. A lot of what we need to do is to peel away all the different beliefs or thought systems that we've developed that's come from the outside, to kind of hear what we feel and then retake that to all of those outside factors to figure out the right thing for you. Also, one of the reasons why I say I don't necessarily feel like I'm the right person to answer this is because the middle and what I'm doing is a huge risk, but I was forced into this risk because of my health. I honestly don't know if I would have ever taken this risk outside of that. there was before, I really wasn't able to work. There was a moment where I looked at my husband and said, do you think this is something I could do full time? And I'll be honest, both of us were like, I don't know. And it's only now that I've been forced into it and that I don't want to say forced into it, that it became one of my options, my best options. And that now that I'm in it, I know it's right. So I guess if it's right, the universe will take your choice away from you. No, that was a joke. I don't know. Hopefully that helps. It's so hard because we don't know the future. And we just need to remember whatever choice we make is the right choice for us. We do the best that we can with the information we have. And if we honor all of that stuff, we'll make the right choice. You can send in your advice from the middle to hello@themiddle.com. And maybe I will give you mediocre advice too. Welcome back. This segment is Lacey Loves. Usually I talk about a product or something that has been making my life easier. But I'm going to go a little bit of a different direction today. And just take a second to say that I love the opportunity of doing this podcast. I spend a lot of time alone now. And, she's going to get real vulnerable. This has been a lifeline for me during this very difficult time in my life. I don't know if it's just because it's my birthday and I'm reflecting, but I love you for listening. I love my husband for supporting me. I love the women who made me this week and the women who made me that you'll hear from all this month. I'm a corny person. Like, if you've made it this far and you're just not figuring that out, I feel like that's your own fault at this point. But I'm thankful for what I have. I'm thankful for what this can be. I'm thankful for every little inkling of interaction or messages that I received that something resonated with someone. So I don't know. I just didn't want to share a product this week because, first of all, your girl's on a real big spending freeze. But also, the material doesn't really matter right now. Yes, I'm all about things that make my life better and easier. But for this week, I just want to say that I love this version of my life, even though it's hard, even though I am not meeting my ridiculous expectations. I'm having a real moment of embracing my middle right now. So thank you. Thank you for joining me and helping this journey be a thing. Have a great day, friends.